Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to episode 5 of my 1 vs 3 vs 3 Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I'm playing against 2 separate teams of 3 Emperor AI per team, and I'm playing as the Halfling Dreadnought, Welby the Tinkerer. In our last episode, we gained a couple of additional cities as vassals, and we'll just zoom in on them here. So you can see we have the Tigran outpost here of Fahas, which is now our vassal. And then we also have, if we pan over here, we now have the town of Bebjun, which is a goblin town, as I mentioned, and they're now a vassal. So we've gained a few more vassals, which is great for us. And we also now have full control of the city of Ripura. We've successfully absorbed them into our empire, and we are now able to start producing things in this city, which is a great boon for us as well. So we are going to continue with this episode as we've got a lot to do. I am probably going to prioritize really trying to improve my military strength this episode. But before I dive in, I did just want to give a couple of quick shout-outs to a few individuals who left some excellent comments on the last episode. The first of those comes from Civ5 Addict. Civ5 Addict pointed out that in my previous playthrough series, my most recent one, not counting this one of course, which was an Orc Warlord playthrough series, I ended up very early in the game. I recruited a hero named Dominus who had the ability to dominate right from the get-go. And that made a huge difference to me in the early game, as I was able to actually recruit a number of units via Dominate and rapidly expand my army and gain some powerful units quite early. And Civ5 Addict is just pointing out that, kind of in contrast to this game where I haven't really been able to do that, Dominus made such a huge difference in that previous series, and it was worth mentioning. And I totally agree. It's definitely been a little bit more challenging in this series, as I haven't had an easy means of acquiring more units. However, I do have 2 Theocrat Heroes, and we'll just take a quick peek at them here. So we have my new Theocrat Hero, which is Pimpton, Bane of Undead, and he's on his way over to join our other Theocrat Hero, which is Holly the Chosen. So she's at level 4, and Pimpton is at level 3. Now, once both of them, I believe, get to level 7, they will get access to Convert, which will allow them to start gaining or recruiting other units via mind control. So once I have both Theocrats up to level, I should be able to rapidly expand my army, at least in theory. Civ5 Addict also pointed out that I now have a fairly decent coverage of different races within my empire. So we have Halflings for sure here, obviously, as that's what we started with. I now have a Tigran vassal. We have a Goblin vassal. I mentioned again in the Shadow Realm, we have a Shadow Elf outpost now, and we're potentially going to be acquiring some dwarves in the near future. We have this little kind of mix and match stack here. We're actually going to take on a quest for these dwarves, and let's just refresh everybody's memory. Abort the Abominations, which is, again, we've got some wisps that need to die. So we're sending this little kind of ragtag bunch to deal with that, and then hopefully we can get this as another vassal once we've accomplished that. We're going to also try and bring in this spy drone to join up with this stack as well, just to have a little bit more fighting force. But in any case, that will mean I think we'll have something like, what is that, 4 or 5 different races with some good variety there. So I should have a fairly well-rounded empire going forward. However, Civ5 Addict mentions that I definitely need to get stronger, especially over the next, 20 turns or so, as I'm kind of progressing into the early mid-game and then into the mid-game. Because currently my army is not powerful enough. Really, my only main kind of military asset in terms of real strength is my main stack here, which is composed of Welby and Leo, the first hero I recruited. He's a Halfling Warlord. And you can see here that obviously these units are all quite powerful. That said, they're all tier 2 or tier 1 units, so this is really my only major military asset. The rest of my forces are all kind of ragtag, hodgepodge. We are able to produce musketeers at this point, and very shortly we'll be able to produce our party robots here, our golems. But again, if we look around here, nothing else super powerful, so we need to really try to improve that situation. And then finally, in the Shadow Realm, something that Civ5 Addict points out that I hadn't even considered doing, and this is a really, really brilliant idea, is to summon a spy drone here into this city and then use it to scout the area north and over here to the east of this city to try to find if there are any additional spawning structures. Civ 5 Addict pointed out that I took out the spawning structure over here, but he figures there's probably at least 2 more, as we've had multiple different units attacking kind of in this region that I've had to clear out, and they've come from different directions. So chances are there's at least 1, maybe 2 more. And I don't want to waste my movement here, as again, this is my main military asset, and I need to get them fighting as soon as possible. So I don't want to waste time with them out exploring around. I'd rather have a spy drone doing that for me, and then I can prioritize where to send them to basically optimize my movement usage. And I think, again, that's a brilliant idea from Civ 5 Addict, so I'm going to try to do that. Okay, so then the next set of comments here comes from Casper Eklund. Casper pointed out that when I researched last episode seafaring, I unfortunately ended up kind of wasting a lot of potential knowledge that I could have applied to something else more effectively. And this kind of brings up a greater point, which is I always hate wasting either production or knowledge and kind of letting it just sort of go to waste. So in the case of production, like let's say I was going to build, and I've talked about this before, but it's worth reiterating. Let's say I was going to produce the stone wall here, which is going to cost 100 gold. So I have 115 production income per turn, which means that I can do this in a single turn, and I'll only have 15 production sort of, air quotes, wasted in that turn. Now, that's not too bad. That's pretty efficient. But let's say I only had 95 production income, and I wanted to build the stone wall. Well, it would take 2 turns, and in that second turn, I would only be using 5 extra production, because the first turn you'd have 95, the next turn you'd have 5 to make that 100, and then you have 95 production that's kind of just going to waste. It's not being used to produce anything else. So you always want to try to optimize your efficiency, and the same goes when it comes to knowledge and research. So again, not the most efficient use of my research last time, so big thank you to Casper for pointing that out. I always like to be reminded of it because it's something to always kind of keep in mind, trying to be as efficient as possible, especially in the early game. Casper also points out that choosing a morale boost for my main stack, I think last time I chose, I can't remember if it was maybe with Welby or if it might have been with my Theocrats, I chose, here it is, Imperial Authority, which gives a morale boost to my units. And then I think with my Theocrat, I may have also chosen Chaplain. Let's take a peek here. Maybe I didn't, but I'm going to in the near future. The point being that Casper mentioned that, and I think this has come up before, but morale boosts give double benefit for my halflings because we get, of course, we get an increased critical chance, but we also get an increased lucky proc. So that's really good as it kind of gives us double benefit. And then finally, Casper mentioned that Touch of Faith, which I grabbed with, I think, both my Theocrats. We'll just take a quick peek at what that is. So Touch of Faith here. Here it is. Basically just bestows a resistance and morale boost on a target-friendly unit. This is a great way to just farm XP, as I can apply that on my very first turn of a battle and buff a unit and get some experience from my Theocrats, who desperately need it as we're trying to get them up to level 7 so they can get Convert. So great points there from Casper. The next comment comes from Ivan Engel. And Ivan, I missed his comment on the episode previous to the last one, but he wanted to point out, again, that in those scout battles where I lost my spy drones out here to those lost souls, I think someone else had mentioned this as well, but Ivan wanted to reiterate that I could have taken a step closer to them and then run away, and I would have probably had my spy drones not be killed off. So again, just great reminder. Going forward, I have to always remember that it's kind of a tricky strategy because it is sort of counterintuitive, right? You think, oh, I just want to run away. But it's actually more, it's optimal to actually step forward and kind of exploit the AI's pathfinding a little bit and the way that they sort of do things. So again, just a good reminder there from Ivan. And then finally, I had a comment here from Ivan Rockland. And Ivan pointed out something that I actually was kind of neglecting, and that's in the Shadow Realm here. We have this Shadow Weed, which you can see recharges every couple of turns. And what this does is when a unit visits it, it actually gains lesser Shadow Walking, which neutralizes the effects of Shadow Sickness. So this is something I'd kind of been neglecting to really look at, but it's actually quite important. So ordinarily, when you have a unit that isn't capable of shadow walking in the Shadow Realm, the unit will take, I believe it's a -1 defense, -1 resistance. They become weakened, and they don't perform as well in combat. Now, this lesser shadow walking protects them from the effects of that, and the only units who have shadow walking inherently are Draconians, Shadow Elves, and then, of course, the Undead, who are unaffected by it at all. They can't be affected by Shadow Sickness. So I need to make sure that I'm taking advantage of this Shadow Weed wherever possible, and I ended up doing that last episode with Welby, kind of by accident. So, great point there from Ivan, just to basically remember that I need to continue to think about that. I have a tendency, because I like playing Necromancer so much, I sometimes forget about the needs of my living units. So, again, great reminder there. And once again, a big thank you to everybody who left all of those excellent comments. I really do appreciate them. And I wanted to take a little bit more time this episode just to go through them, because, again, I have kind of had a bit of a rocky start at times. I think things are going well, but I definitely could have maybe made some better choices. So good to kind of reflect. Okay, so at the end of the last episode here, we had gotten right to the end of our turn. However, I think I'm going to try and switch my spell over to summoning a spy drone. I do still want these mana fuel cells, of course, but I'm going to summon a spy drone, and that's to do what Civ 5 Addict pointed out, which is to summon the spy drone here in the Shadow Realm and use it to scout for those spawning structures, so I don't end up wasting as much movement with my... Oh, and look at this. I guess I had told that little guy to go run over this way. So that should be okay. I hope I don't get attacked there. I should have canceled that movement before I ended my turn. But so what I'll do, as I said, is I will summon that spy drone. I'll summon that spy drone and then be able to scout the Shadow Realm a little bit better. Okay, so we're just waiting on the turn here to flip over. So as I said, when the turn does flip over here, assuming nothing too crazy has happened, we haven't been attacked by any units or anything like that, I am going to, as I said, probably start. I'm just kind of peeking around to make sure nothing too crazy is going on. Not really seeing any units that have popped up or anything like that. So we're going to jump back to the Shadow Realm here. We're going to summon our spy drone, probably right on the edge of the city here. We could even go grab that mana. Take care of that. Okay, and it looks like we've got ourselves actually another city down there, so maybe we go and check that out real quick while we're kind of here. Wow, and it's quite large. Okay, so we're going to have to go and make contact. I suspect this is an additional Shadow Elf city. Again, as I mentioned, in the Shadow Realm, we tend to see pretty much just Shadow Elves and Draconians. And Draconians can handle the Shadow Realm because they are sort of magically inclined. So let's head up this way, and let's see, we should be able to clear this structure out, hopefully. So this is going to be an air node. Now, let's see. Welby can engage the battle. I think we're going to do No Mercy. I want the experience for our heroes especially, so we're going to do this. Okay, there we go. Now, important to remember here that the Storm Priest, the Shadow Elf Storm Priest, can summon these little lightning sprites who are kind of like a poor man's wisp in a way. And they're kind of a disposable unit, so we got to watch out for those, of course. Now, in terms of these wisps, we can kill off one of them here outright, I believe. Well, unfortunately, this Windward is going to impede our ranged attacks a little bit, which is kind of annoying. but we can still do some fairly major damage there. And then if we step up with Leo, yeah, we should be able to get the kill with a combination of this attack plus maybe throwing our chicken. Fantastic. Okay. So that takes care of that. We'll put our pony rider kind of up in front like this. Our brew brother can hang back. Pony rider can... Actually, maybe we'll even move them kind of there. Welby, on the other hand, I suppose... Maybe we move over here and throw on Guarded by Flames on Leo. Just because I anticipate he might get attacked here a little bit. Okay, there we go. No worries. Yeah, Leo's kind of getting ganged up on a little bit. We gotta save our hero. We don't want him going down. Alright, let's kill off the Lightning Sprite. Fantastic. Okay, now we've got this Wisp to deal with, of course. And we've also got these Air Elementals. I think I'm going to send the Pony Rider probably over here to deal with the Storm Priest. Meanwhile, so we got to kill off this Wisp, that's for sure. So I think what we'll do is we'll send our Farmer over here to flank the Wisp. There we go. And then with Welby, we can step off and do a killing shot with our rifle. Fantastic. Okay. Now we've just got Leo and our Brew Brother. Now, I suppose with Leo, we could throw on a Phoenix Warrior just to ensure that Leo doesn't die here. Alternatively, we could turn these Air Elementals around with a flanking shot here. And that would actually give our Brew Brother an opportunity to attack, so maybe we'll do that. So let's do that. Oh, fantastic. Big damage there. That's going to give Leo a chance to kind of run away. We can do some big damage here and probably get the kill. Not quite. If we step off, I think we'll still do enough damage to get the kill. Yeah. I just want to make sure that Leo doesn't get blasted by the Storm Priest here and killed. So maybe we'll even step him off even further. Yeah, and that's still going to be enough to get the kill. Alright, so as long as they don't come in and kill Leo, we should be okay. Okay, they're just going to summon another Lightning Sprite. No worries there. And now we can use our Brew Brother here to drop a nice, big, juicy heal on Leo. We can even do the same thing with our other one, actually, maybe just to double up the goodness. And then, now we just have to basically kill off these Lightning Sprites and the Storm Priest. So... Leo can step up and blast the heck out of them with his crossbow shot here. And then I think we'll actually charge in and attack the Storm Priest themselves, just so that they're kind of dealt with. And then we can get the kill with Welby. Fantastic. Okay, now they should just suicide themselves here. Excellent, and a lucky proc, always nice. Okay. So that takes care of that structure. A little bit of mana. Thankfully, our mana income is now substantially improved, thanks to... We have this Gemstone Mine. We have a couple of fire nodes now. So things are definitely improved in that respect. Now, let's jump back to the surface here. And let's deal with kind of all these units here. So we have our new Theocrat moving in to assist our old Theocrat. We have this little guy who's moved over. I guess we can jump him into this stack here. Why not? And then, I think what we'll maybe do here is we might just add our Theocrat into this stack, actually. Just to gain any extra benefit, because I believe... Yeah, we have Aura of Resistance with Holly, so that's going to impact... I believe that'll impact Pimpton as he's now in the stack. So... Okay, now let's engage the battle here. We're going to do this one. This will be tough because we've got a number of units with shock damage, so we have to be cautious. We can't be overconfident in this battle, that's for sure. Not to mention here, range damage is going to do less because of Windward. Okay. So, first things first, let's do Yeah, let's buff up this Sun Guard. We need our Sun Guard to be very strong here. So we're going to do a Touch of Faith. Sun Guard's going to be kind of our main melee unit. We really don't have anything else to really do a ton of melee damage. So we're actually going to throw Bestow Iron Heart on them as well to improve their defense just a little bit more. So now they've got quite high resistance, which is fantastic. So I think what we'll do is we'll step our Sun Guard up kind of like this. Have them sort of sit down. Our Jester can kind of wait in the wings a little bit here. Our Adventurer, unfortunately, like I said, the range damage is going to be quite limited. So this is actually a pretty precarious battle for me at the moment, which is kind of unfortunate. What I might want to do here is actually do some casting. So I could do something like Smite. Let's see, with Pimpton, we can do Smite as well. So let's see, what could we Smite? We could go for a Baby Shock Serpent. We go for the Wyvern. The Air Elemental, that might be a good one. Let's give that a shot. Very nice, and it actually landed. That's fantastic. I think we'll save the Bestow Iron Heart for if we need to heal somebody. And you know what? We're just going to kind of camp out here. Let's see if they decide to advance on us. They're not going to, so I'm going to take advantage of that. We've already used up Pimpton's spell casting. So now we're going to do Hollies, and we'll try and go for the kill here if we can. Not quite, but now they're in real rough shape, which is good for us. We can do a Touch of Faith on somebody else. We've already got it on the Sun Guard. Maybe one of our Adventurers is just going to get the buff here. You know what? We could actually throw it on Holly. That might not be such a bad idea. Let's do that. So now Holly's got really high resistance. And we will end the round there. And let's see, are they going to attack us? There they go. Just kind of waiting for that. Okay, so now the good news is this Air Elemental is basically almost one-shottable at this point, although it'll depend on the unit, of course. So this won't be enough to get the kill, but it'll weaken it. So now it's one-shottable with a good blast here. Let's see. Not quite in range there for our Jester. If we were to advance our Sun Guard 1... Unfortunately, yeah, we're still not going to be able to get the kill without putting someone at risk. And of course, I'm a little concerned about the Wyvern kind of jumping in behind us, as that's a very real possibility. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to probably keep my Sun Guard in guard mode here, fighting these Shock Serpents is what I'm thinking. So maybe we step... Oh, I don't want to put Holly in any unnecessary risk, but... Perhaps we do this with her. Do some damage like that, and then we step up our Adventurer and get the finish. Okay. Excellent. So now we've just really kind of got this Wyvern to worry about. I believe our Sun Guard should be able to mitigate the Shock Serpents here coming at me and doing anything too crazy. So we're going to step up like this with our Sun Guard, throw them in defense, and we're going to bring our Adventurer back, anticipating that this Wyvern's probably going to go for Holly and try and do some damage. So, Pimpton can hang out kind of back here, I guess. We'll just keep him like that. Okay, there it is. Okay, they went for my Adventurer. That's alright. My Sun Guard doing a really good job there of defending themselves. Can actually use our Adventurer here to kind of help out the Sun Guard just a touch. There we go. Could even get the finish here if necessary. Okay, so our Wyvern is now kind of in the battle here. Let's see, what kind of damage do we do? We could turn him around at the very least, which would be kind of useful. Alternatively, we could use a melee approach. Maybe we build up like a charge kind of thing here. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good plan. So we'll build up a charge. There it is. That's going to allow us to step our Adventurer off and step Holly off. Although we may still have to do a melee kill here, and I think that's going to sort of be what we have to do. So, perhaps we... So just trying to figure out kind of what would be the most optimal situation here. I think what we'll do is we'll actually build up a charge with Holly, turn him around like that, and then what we'll do is we will use up some of our movement like this with our Jester, step in and get the melee finish, and a nice level up for our Jester as well. Excellent. I just had to be kind of careful with that when I didn't want to do anything too silly. And now we'll get the finish there on that Shock Serpent, and now we can... I think we should be able to kind of just impede this Shock Serpent here. Okay, there we go. Now we can kind of just put on the hurt here on this Shock Serpent. And we also have, I think, we still have a heal left, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we do. So we can heal that adventurer who is kind of in rough shape there. Alright, so now let's just do a bunch of range damage here. Okay, not going to do a ton of damage just because of the debuff there, the Windward. But we can soften him up. Get a nice shot here with our Firework. Would have been nice had we dazzled them, as then they wouldn't have been able to retaliate in melee combat. Pimpton can attack still, so we'll step up with Pimpton. Do a little bit more damage, and then what we'll do is we will advance our Sun Guard, basically like this, throw them in defense mode. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is that it might go for my Adventurer, but we'll have to see here. Maybe I should have attacked with my Sun Guard. Alright, there we go. That's kind of what I was hoping would happen. Alright, nice clean battle there. We didn't lose anybody and we didn't take too much damage. We got a nice bunch of level ups there, which is always good. A little bit of mana never hurts too. Alright, so now I think we're probably strong enough that we could take on this Shrine to the Guardian Angel. And once we do that, we'll then get the buff here that would give us regrowth for the next battle. Excuse me, the blessing, I guess I should say. So I think what I will do is I'm going to send my stack down there, and I'm going to send... Well, this little guy can't make it, so we're going to have to do without him. Although I think that would be alright. So let's truck on down. Just making sure that's kind of the best plan here. I think it is. So we're going to truck on down. Engage the battle in manual combat. Alright, so of course they're going to absorb pain there, which is going to be a bit of an issue for us. Nothing we can't handle, of course. It's just going to be annoying. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring both our heroes up. We're going to use one hero to bestow Iron Heart, and one hero to Touch of Faith. And then we're going to send our Sun Guard kind of up the gut here to put in some work. And now we have to kind of be careful. We don't want to get our adventurers in too much risk here, as of course they could take a lot of damage and basically be killed off quite easily, so we don't want that. And our Jester can, I suppose, step up just a touch as well. Okay. So our Sun Guard's going to kind of have to tank some of this damage. There he goes, doing a great job of it. Excellent. Fantastic. Going after my adventurers as I sort of thought they might. Now, it'd be great to kill off these martyrs, as of course they are the ones putting that effect on my... Or, excuse me, doing the absorb pain there, which is quite annoying. So let's put in some damage there. Put in a little more there as well, which is great. And then whichever hero it is who hasn't already healed will jump up with Pimpton here, I think, and drop a heal on my Sun Guard, perhaps. Although, really, they are still in pretty solid shape, so maybe I don't need to do that. And this adventurer is, again, a little worse for wear, so I might need to retreat them back just a touch. Again, we want to get this kill for sure. So maybe we send... Now, are the martyrs immune to spirit? They are not. Okay. So perhaps we go like this. Not quite in range there. Oh, you know what we could do is we could use our smite and finish off this martyr. Might not be such a bad idea. And then we could step up the Sun Guard right here even and just have them both engaged in melee combat, which wouldn't be so bad. Just trying to think what's kind of the safest route here. So yeah, I think with Holly, what we'll do is we'll go like this. Oh, and of course, I forgot she already used her spell. Dang it. That was a bit of a mistake on my part there. So now maybe with Pimpton, we're going to have to move in and actually try and kill off that Martyr. Let's see if we can. Again, I don't want to get him in any unnecessary risk, which I'm going to be sort of putting him in. Especially with this Brew Brother who can dish out a lot of damage. Have to be very careful. Okay, we can hopefully get the kill. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. So we'll throw our Sun Guard right like this in defense. And then our Adventurer we might want to just kind of maybe hide a little bit with. I don't know. Let's go after the Martyr. This Adventurer may end up being killed. Wouldn't be the worst thing ever, but it would be a little bit annoying. We'll just do a touch of faith for some experience. I'm a little... Oh, and I forgot about that. Pimpton's going to be in trouble here, I think. Okay, no, he's alright. Never mind. I forgot that this Great Reawakening is going to be in effect here, so... That was a bit of an oopsie on my part. Alright, let's try and kill the Martyr again, perhaps. Okay, excellent there. That's great. We've made them use up a lot of their healing abilities, which is actually really nice. Now our Sun Guard is still in pretty solid shape. We're going to need to maybe just get in there with our heroes, which I'm a little hesitant to do. We could step up like this, do some big damage there. Almost kill the Martyr. And you know what, if we step up, can we get the kill on the Martyr? Possibly. Fantastic. Okay, the Martyr is now dead. So now all that's left is the Priest and the Brew Brother. So we can move in with Pimpton and pretty much kill off the Brew Brother. Let's go in with Holly, actually, and try and kill them off. Excellent. And then we can move in with Pimpton and do the same thing. But first, let's see. How much can we... I don't think we're going to kill the Priest here, unfortunately. And this is unfortunate, as I said, because it means something is going to come back from the dead. I think I'd rather kill off the Brew Brother, personally, here. There we go. Now, one of these, yeah, one of those units is coming back, of course. Okay, we're alright. No big issue. We'll use a Bestow Iron Heart to heal up our hero. And then we'll use our Sun Guard to finish off the Priest. Nice level up from them to Silver Medal. That's fantastic. At Gold Medal, they'll get Projectile Reflection, which is great. And then, have we moved both heroes? No, we haven't. So Holly can still do something. So let's see. Can we maybe turn these little guys around? I don't want to get the kill here. I just want to wound them and then get the finish with Holly for that experience boost. Excellent. You got to be real careful with some of these battles. So there we go. Now these units will all have regrowth in the next battle, which means we could probably consider doing this Lost Library, although we'll have to maybe go take a look at just how strong it is. And there we got some level ups. This is great. So now Holly is at level 5. And I think what we will do with Holly is go for Chaplain to improve morale. Fantastic. Okay. And now Pimpton can also level up. Again, we're going to have him leading a stack eventually, but not just yet. So let's actually do Divine Channeling and get him some extra casting points. Kind of like what we're doing with Leo in our main stack with Welby, where he's a little bit more of a caster at the moment, just because of kind of the situation we find ourselves in. We'll start working on a mana fuel cell so we can buff Hard Thistle, and then we can also try and buff our new city in the Shadow Realm. Let's think about production here. So hard thistle. We want to produce something, but we don't have a ton of gold at the moment. So it might actually be more beneficial to do something in bitter cress and spend our gold there instead. So we could do either public baths or a great temple. Again, our mana situation is now substantially better than it was. Don't really have to worry too much about that. So public baths, you know, wouldn't be so bad. Improve our happiness. Let's do that. Make our city a little bit happier. So that's going to kind of hurt the amount of options we have here in Hard Thistle, of course, in terms of production. Yeah, nothing else we could really produce here in terms of structures that are going to benefit us at the moment. Another thing we could do, I suppose, with our gold is we want to use this builder to continue making a road to go all the way kind of and connect to here. But of course, that's going to cost money, so we might have to hold off for a little bit to do that. Suppose we could produce another unit if we wanted, or we could just save the money for next turn. Might not be the worst plan. Maybe we'll do that. We'll just do merchandise. Again, this builder... let's see. If we want to build the road... So maybe we build it to there. Again, that's going to cost a lot of our gold, but we'll do it kind of in segments there, as we don't want to break the bank all at once. And then let's hope we don't hit a unit that's kind of impeding us here. Okay, nothing so far. That's good. With this little group, we're going to wander on up. Ooh, and there we've got some roaming units. We're going to have to maybe kind of run away from those, as I don't think we could handle it at the moment. So let's go up around this way. There we go. Okay. Here's those wisps, I believe, for that quest. Actually, maybe not. I'm not sure. That might be for someone else's quest. Oh, no, it is those ones. Okay. So that is the wisp. That is the wisp that we are after. Of course, spawning structure right there, which... Please don't spawn anything. We're not going to stand right next to it, so it shouldn't. Alright, and this little guy, we're moving him over to join with kind of the force that's building on this side with our Theocrats. So we've now got our Musketeer moving over that way. And I believe that's going to do it for our turn. Let's just double check the Shadow Realm here and make sure that we've used up our movement. Yes, we have. Okay. So we'll end our turn there. So I suspect that spawning structure might be up here, but I did want to encounter this city and see if maybe we can do a quest for them or something like that if they aren't hostile. Which is why I sent my spy drone down this way. Looks like we might have an ancient ruin here, which could be cleared out as well. So maybe we'll send Welby over to do that. I think that would be a pretty solid battle for us. So here's one of those party robots, party robot prototype that we're going to be able to build. Pretty decent unit here. Tireless is cool. Nourishing meal, always good for maintaining living units. Light protection, spirit protection, 100% for both, although it does have shock weakness. It is an armored unit. Has Demolisher for breaking down machines and walls and stuff. It's reinforced, which is good against ranged attacks. All in all, pretty decent unit. Oh, and here we go. So you saw... Oh, no, okay. So we're being attacked by these spiders, and unfortunately... Yeah, these hunter spiders have phase, which I think pretty much means we're not going to be able to outrun them. However, we might be able to suicide ourselves and do some big damage here. That might improve things for us. So we'll step up a little bit. Yeah, so these are the hunter spiders there that can phase. I might just move right on up in there like this and just go for the suicide here. There we go. Okay, we did some big damage. So now if that unit attacks our other stack, at least a bunch of them are in rough shape, which is good. We just need this stack to survive long enough to get in there and do the do the quest for us there. That's the biggest thing. Alright, now let's see. Can we see where those units are? That's the other big question. It looks like those wisps have moved off, which is not good. Oh, and they've moved all the way down there, apparently. That's not good. So, cancel this. So now, let's see. Can we get on the road? Maybe make it down there. There they are. Okay, so if we head over here, at the very least now, they should hopefully come and attack us. Okay, this Naga dwelling has a quest for us here. Kill some baby reed serpents. That's something we could probably handle. We just need to get a unit that can get up there to do it. I'm going to hold off on accepting it just yet. I'm going to think about it, though, because I need to figure out if I can build up an army to get up there. Either that, or maybe I can try and find a way back from the Shadow Realm using Welby here. And again, just to reiterate, you saw this unit of Scoundrel and Assassin come across from over here, so looks like we've probably got ourselves a spawning structure over here as well. So I think we should clear them out, maybe go do this Ancient Ruin here, and then see if we can find that on that side. Meanwhile, with our spy drone, let's go and make contact. Alright, so they are not hostile to us at the moment, so let me know when you're ready to talk. We'll see if maybe we can do a quest for them or something like that. And then meanwhile, let's send our spy drone back up this way, and we'll send him up north to do some scouting that direction. But let's deal with up top here maybe first. So we now have the ability to use mana fuel cells, which is going to be great. I think probably, let's see, that I think that gives us an extra 20 production. That would boost Hard Thistle up above 75, which is nice, but not quite to 100, as we'd be at 92. If we did that on Ripura, let's see, that would get us to 40. That would improve the rate we're doing this Builder's Hall, which would be kind of nice. Again, 40 isn't quite helpful, as I suppose that would mean this laboratory would take less time. City's going to grow in 7 turns, at which point we would get a boost as well. Not to mention that once we produce this Builder's Hall, we'll get 20, so that would actually be kind of nice. So let's do it here. So there, now that's 1 less turn, and once we have this, we'll be above 50, which means we can do the storehouse in 2, laboratory in 2, temple in 3. So that'll improve things a little bit. Okay. Let's do some battles, perhaps. So now we've got our buffed up stack, and they have regrowth, so now might be the time to go and try and raid this Lost Library. We can get this musket. The musketeer can't make it in for the battle, so really worth trying to do that. Ooh, now this would be a tough battle, as we've got an evangelist here who's capable of conversions. Not to mention a number of units capable of some pretty nasty range damage. Plus, our heroes and leaders can't cast spells, so we wouldn't be able to use Smite or anything like that. You know, it's kind of a... I feel like that's kind of a big risk at this point. Let's just abort for a second. This will come back in 3 turns, so you know what? We can always come back, grab regrowth again, and try and do this at a later time, which might be smart. Maybe instead what we do is we get a little bit more experience, level them up, get them a bit stronger. Then we come back, grab the regrowth once again, and then we do the Lost Library. And in the meantime, we do this battle here for some extra income. I think that's going to be the plan. So, again, tough call there. I don't want to risk it. I just really don't want to risk it. If my heroes were able to use their Smite, I think I'd be more comfortable doing that battle. But again, I've already lost some of the units that I've had kind of over in this part, due to just kind of them being weak and maybe me making not the greatest decisions. So I really just don't want to have my units killed off if I can avoid it. Even these little tier 1 units, as they are useful for me right now, I kind of need them. Every unit is precious right now. Alright, Pimpton is going to kill off the hatchlings. And then I think what we're going to do is we obviously want to lock down this raptor. So I think maybe we will buff our Sun Guard, perhaps, with Touch of Faith. Bestow Iron Heart is nice, as it does give +1 defense and +1 resistance along with Strong Will. And I suppose, you know what, now that I think about it, we can use Strong Will from both heroes with Bestow Iron Heart. So it's not like our Vanguard units up front would be getting converted necessarily, but I still need to be careful with that Lost Library battle I'm kind of thinking about now again. All right, let's throw on Touch by Faith, since we are going to be getting fire damage applied to us probably. So, and then what we'll do is we'll throw the Sun Guard right here. Slap him in defense mode. And then hopefully he doesn't get killed off. Let's see. Ooh, going after my ranged units. All right. Ooh, and there you saw we took quite a bit of damage, but we're all right. Came out of it okay. Let's do some damage here with our Adventurer. Get the kill. Fantastic. And then with Pimpton, we could get the kill, or we could actually bring Holly all the way over and most likely get the finish. Let's do that. Excellent. Okay. So that takes care of that situation. Now Pimpton can move into action here. We'll throw a nice big heal on our Sun Guard, who are, again, our sort of Vanguard force at this point. And then we can get either the kill or be very close to it with our Adventurer here. Our Jester can also still act, so maybe we'll use our Jester, actually. Let's see. Do a bit of damage there, and then a little bit here. Excellent. Very, very nice. So that takes care of that, and a nice big boost of gold and mana there. In particular, the gold going to come in handy. Very nice for us. And that's going to do our movement. This would be a battle I'm a little less inclined to do, just because these Grimbeak Crows have such mobility, and they can kind of jump in behind you and snipe all my little ranged units that aren't as powerful. Meanwhile, perhaps I'll kind of group these units up here and send them down to sort of assist. Eventually, we're going to want to head over and clear out this Eldritch Pit, of course, as that's spawning units that are going to threaten my vassal, and hopefully this will eventually become my city proper, so we're going to need to do that. But first things first, maybe we... Looks like there's a, I think it's called the Spring of Life, if I remember, down here that we could go and try and clear out. So a few other things we could do before we decide to head over that way. Circus tent here, traveling circus we could clear out, or try and grab an item, perhaps. So now that this stack is a little bit more powerful, our Sun Guard is in really good shape again. Having him leveled up and having a bit more health and defense and resistance is just huge. So that gives us a lot more options over here. We're now able to produce golems, which is going to be very nice. So I think we can do that in our throne. Yeah, so here we can start making party robot prototypes if we want, which is kind of cool. However, I'm gonna finish working on public baths and probably do maybe a hospital and a great temple as well, just to try and get access to the palace upgrade for my throne. In terms of Hard Thistle here, so now we've got the money that we can kind of work on upgrading these cities a little bit more. In terms of expanding the borders, that's going to not really benefit me that much right now because I haven't cleared out most of these structures. So we're going to need to send some units up here to deal with that. Well, now that we have the gold, we might as well do our road construction here, as we've been kind of neglecting that, since we didn't really have the money. Thankfully now we do, so we've got one more tile to build and then we're done our road. So that's really good. Might also be nice eventually to build a road over here to this goblin city as well from our throne. Let's think about maybe what we'd want to build here. We could do a foundry. That might not actually be so bad, and then we could start producing party robot prototypes here along with musketeers if we needed. Siege workshop wouldn't be bad. Along with the city growth, that might push us into getting to 100. But I don't know. The problem with the foundry is it's not very efficient. We need to get this to 75 before we can do this in 2 turns and not have it kind of waste a turn. Maybe we'll just do a storehouse here to improve growth rate, because the city's going to grow in 3 turns. So we'll do the storehouse, I guess. Alright. Back to our Shadow Realm city. We're working on the Builder's Hall still, of course. Alright, so now let's deal with Welby's stack here. So we'll engage this battle with these pesky scoundrels and assassin. Do have to watch out for the assassin strike, as that can kind of put the hurt on us real nasty if we're not careful. Gain that attack, you can't retaliate against it, which makes it quite nasty. So we'll do a little bit of damage to the scoundrel here. Of course, Windward is on, which is going to mean we're going to have to sort of get down and dirty here, I suspect. And I think we'll use Welby here. But we do actually have to be really careful because these units all have, like, sprint and whatnot, so... Leo, I think, we'll just kind of hang back with. The Brew Brothers, sort of same story. I hope I didn't leave Welby kind of hanging out to dry here. I think he'll be alright, but we'll see. I suspect they might go for Welby. Okay, going after my cavalry, that's alright. They took a pretty nasty beating there. So we'll throw a nourishing meal on them. Make sure that they stay good and healthy. And then we can move in with our farmer and start working on the assassin. That assassin is pretty tough unit here. You can see they do quite a bit of damage. So we do have to be careful. Farmers can move in, but again, they're going to take some punishment if they do that. Leo can move in and assist, which would be not so bad. Thankfully, he has martial arts, which is going to help him out quite a bit. Let's do that. Oh, and fantastic. We got a nice critical hit there. And then, you know what? We can move in with our farmer, do some damage, and then... Oh, and we got the critical. I was going to say, if we didn't get the finish, we could have used our Pony Rider to do that. So now we'll move our Pony Rider over here. Meanwhile, Welby, I suppose, can do a little blasty blast there with his rifle. And then our Brew Brother can step up and kind of be ready to go. There's that sprint coming into play. Lucky coming into play. Very nice. And our Pony Rider here can get the finish, no problem at all. And then we can throw a nourishing meal on our farmer to kind of heal up that damage that they took. And then between our two heroes, I think we can probably finish off these scoundrels. Yeah, there we go. No worries at all. Alright, very nice. So that battle is taken care of. So now let's group back up. And then, as I said, I think we're going to head over there to that ancient ruin. Yeah, so let's try and clear this one out. Ooh, a couple of trolls here, and we're going to be cursed. And that's really unfortunate for us as halflings because it decreases our morale, which is going to mean that we, unfortunately, will have less chance of getting lucky. However, if I use Phoenix Warrior on maybe my my Pony Riders there, I should be all right. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my Pony Rider again as a vanguard, send them up. We'll throw a heal on them just because they're in a little bit rough shape at the moment. Leo, we're going to kind of step back here, make sure that he's safe. We'll throw on Phoenix Warrior, as I said, on our Pony Rider. And then we will charge right in here and just park ourselves in defense mode. Our farmer, meanwhile, can attack. We don't want to attack the troll because it does have regrowth. So that's not going to necessarily be the most efficient use of our damage output at the moment. However, we can attack the Dread Spider babies, who are going to come in and try and, I'm sure, try and web us, which won't be very fun. Welby, on the other hand, I suppose we could apply Guarded by Flame maybe on our farmers, because they're probably going to have to get in there and do a bit of melee fighting as well, I would think. And of course, this troll is going to be coming down here, so might need to send our farmer up to deal with that, now that I think about it. So we might have to throw another revive Phoenix Warrior boost on our farmer. So there, our Pony Rider did his job exceptionally well. Very, very good. We might be able to actually kill off this troll with a combination of attacks here. So let's see, can we manage that? We can step up with this Brew Brother and do big, big damage. Fantastic. And then Welby, actually Leo can step up with his crossbow. Get the kill there. Meanwhile, our farmers can go up and probably kill off the spider babies here. And it would be great to kill the troll just because he's got regrowth and he'll come back. So perhaps we step Welby up here and give him a nice blast from the prototype rifle. And now we've just got the Warg who will probably kill... Oh, I thought he was going to go for my Pony Rider, but apparently not. So what we'll do instead is we want to drop a heal on our Pony Rider because he's obviously in rough shape. And then we can get the finish here. Leo's a little bit hurt, but that's all right. Let's jump over here, do a nice flanking hit, get the kill. All right, so that takes care of that Ancient Ruin. Ooh, and here we go. A Frost Protection jewel item. That's not so bad. Some Knowledge boost. That's great. I'll definitely take that. A little bit of gold. Always useful. I guess we'll throw that on Welby. Let's see. So now he's got 60% Frost Protection, 40% Fire Protection, 40% Shock Protection, and his Physical Protection is at 0 because he has weakness from being a Halfling, but his Hero Upgrade has him at 0, so that's pretty good for him. Yeah, so now the big question, what do I do with this stack? And I think I'm going to probably send them this way. There's some gold there. Let's go and see if we can find that spawning structure over there. Meanwhile, our drone will head up the road and see what we can find up here. And it would be great if we could find a shadow gate up here that would let us come back to the surface world somewhere near this Naga dwelling so we can handle that quest for them. That would be, in a perfect world, that would be what we would want. There's a big part of me that's tempted to just accept the quest. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to accept the quest. I've got 10 turns to do it. Yeah, we're going to accept the quest, and we're going to try and do what I said. We're going to kind of gamble on it. I mean, the worst thing that happens is we just hurt our relationship if we don't fulfill the quest. We hurt our relationship with the Naga, which is like, whatever, not a huge deal. We might have to take them over by force later anyway, so... Alright, now let's think about our research now. Of course, we did get this little boost of extra knowledge here. Meaning that we could do one of these more quickly here. This wouldn't be so bad, Domain of the Sun, to improve our units. Make them a little happier. Expansionism maybe would be a good choice. And we would get a turn chopped off of it because of our little boost here. Yeah, our outposts would be a little bit, have better production income. Let's take care of that one, and then maybe we'll do the cannon. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so that's going to take care of our turn. So let's let it flip over here. But first, I almost did that without picking my next thing here. So now let's do Mana Fuel Cells once again. And this time we'll throw it on Hard Thistle. And are we producing things? Yeah, we've got the... Yeah, so we're in the process of producing things in both cities. The city's going to grow in 3 turns. The storehouse really... I actually don't think that's going to maybe be the best choice. Maybe we'll do the siege workshop. Yeah, let's do the siege workshop, and we just want to get more production going. Because then once we have the mana fuel cells on there, we'll be well above 100. We'll be in good shape. So I think that's what we'll do. And that'll make this more efficient, because we'll throw this on next turn. It'll only take 1 extra turn, so it's not going to end up wasting it. That's what my thought process there would be. Okay. So just to reiterate, because I kind of blabbled a little there, but if we look at this again, we have 72 production income, meaning that it's going to take us 3 turns to do something that costs 150. And normally that would mean you have a lot of wasted production on that 3rd turn. But because I'm going to throw this on mana fuel cells on this city next turn, I'm only going to end up taking 2 turns because in the first turn I'm going to apply 72, and then in the next turn I'm going to apply 92, which would be more than enough to finish off the rest of it, I think. Yeah, my math checks out. So that should work out. And that way I'm being a little more efficient. Meanwhile, we're going to have to see if some of these vassals are hopefully going to start wanting to be, yeah, in our empire fairly soon here. We're going to need to make sure we have enough gold to do that. Oh, and here we go. Okay, so now we're being attacked. This is excellent. You know, this is actually still going to be a relatively challenging battle, just because these wisps can do their little phase thing, which is quite annoying. We're going to want our Blight Doctor to hang back. They're going to go for him with the phase, I'm almost certain. So I want them to phase in and attack my Prowler here and my Spy Drone rather than... Let's see the phase. Yeah, so they could phase to him right now. So maybe we... you know what? Let's run back. Let's just go back a bit. Force them to kind of come at me here. There we go. Okay, they're going after the Spy Drone. That's totally fine by me. So we can step up and kill one. No problem at all. We should be able to get a flank hit here and then get the finish. Although unfortunately, we lost the Spy Drone. So that takes care of that quest, which is fantastic. That's really what we needed to do. I maybe could have done that without losing the Spy Drone, but I forgot that the unit takes damage when it attacks the Wisp, but... Okay, so we're going to take that reward. So, lost one unit, but replaced it with another. And that improved our relationship now with this Dwarven Outpost. And in 4 turns, we should be able to have them become our vassal, which is excellent. Very, very good. So we're going to jump back up, and now we're going to do what I said. We're going to throw our Mana Fuel Cell on Hard Thistle. Let's close that. So there we go. We're at 98, which is just shy of that 100 that I was hoping for. But once the city grows, we should be okay in that regard. So yeah, now this will only take 1 more turn to finish. And of course, once this is done, we'll be over that 100, over the hump on that 100 production barrier, which means then we can do a storehouse or a stone wall in a single turn, which is a little bit more efficient. Okay. Expansionism now researched. I think that'll impact, for example, our little Tigran vassal here, who will grow in 6 turns, but a little bit more production income for them. And I don't know if our Shadow Elf... Oh yeah, it's still an outpost, so it's now benefiting from that production boost a little bit. At least I think so. Yeah, there it is. Expansionism is increasing that. So once we have this Builder's Hall, we'll actually be up to 80, and then the city will grow. So that should actually give us... We could then do the laboratory in a single turn, which would be awesome. And let's jump back. We'll also have to remember that when it... Oh, and we should actually start working on these mana nodes. I almost forgot about those. Even in our vassals, we should still be using Transform to Fire node. So I think that's what we'll do next. We'll start working on that spell. And of course, that's going to mean that we get... Once it's our city, we're going to get that boost to our knowledge and mana income. And same goes here for Ripura, as once the city grows, which it will in 3 turns, we're going to get this mana node, so maybe we even do this one first. Once this spell's ready, it'll actually sync up almost perfectly. City grows in 3 turns, spell is ready in 3 turns, and then we can hit the mana node. Okay, nobody else is reaching out to talk to us at the moment, so I think we'll just kind of follow this road up. See what's up here. Okay, so we've got Gemstone Mine here. I really like the updated design of the Gemstone Mine. In one of the most recent updates for the Shadow Realm expansion mod pack, they changed the skin for the Gemstone Mine, and it looks great. I really like the green crystal. It really stands out very well. I quite like it. Okay, so let's go grab the gold. Well, we got ourselves another city over here, so We can do this battle at a creation node here. And then maybe we can... Okay, now we've met another outpost. This is Draconians. Okay, Welby, we are going to engage this battle. We'll do it manually. Now we have to remember, of course, that these units are all going to be blessed, so they're going to be a little bit tougher than usual. Can bring our Pony Rider up. Give him a nice buff here with Guarded by Flames. You know what? We'll even throw a Nourishing Meal on just to make him extra tanky. Farmer we can move up a little bit. And Leo can kind of step up here along with our Brew Brother. Alright, now let's see. Are they going to come at us here? They are not. Okay, we're going to have to make them come to us. So let's attack the Archer. These are the Archon units, which are part of the Shadow Realm expansion mod pack. So again, these are the Archons. If you played Age of Wonders 2, you'll be familiar with them. So these are the units before they became the undead revenants that we know in Age of Wonders 3, which is cool. And of course, they're dedicated to good. I really like that they were added in by that by the mod there. So let's see. I think, yeah, we'll move our Pony Rider up just a touch. Kind of try to entice them out to maybe come and attack me a little bit. Alright. Lucky making a big difference for me there, mitigating quite a bit of damage, actually. Very, very good. Use our Brew Brother here and kill off the Unicorn. Meanwhile, Leo could run up and kill the Archer, which not such a bad idea. Got to make sure I don't put him in any unnecessary risk, of course, but... Got a foot soldier back there who's going to need to be killed. You know what we'll do? We'll send our farmer in first. There we go. And then we'll send Leo in. Excellent. And then what we'll do is we'll move Welby up. Do a nice big blast right there. Send our Brew Brother in. Unfortunately, can't quite get the kill, but can do quite a bit of damage. And then we can get the kill with our Pony Rider. And then let the foot soldiers do their thing now. Going after my Brew Brother. I guess not really that big a surprise. Drop a heal on our farmer, who took a bit of damage there. Welby can sneak around behind and get a nice flanking charge hit. There we go. And step our Brew Brother off. Do some big damage. We can also maybe bring Leo around to get some extra experience. There we go. And then we can get the kill. So that takes care of that creation node. So now we've got this Draconian outpost. Now, I'm almost tempted to be aggressive and actually violently take over the Draconian city, because I've already made... I'm going to have potentially some races in the game that really don't like me in this playthrough. And I really do like Draconians, though, so I don't know if I want to make them angry. But I have to kind of think about it. You know, who am I going to make angry at me in this series? Because, like I said, I've already got, 5 races that I'm friends with, that I have cities of. So I'm going to have to think about whether I want to start maybe making them mad at me or not. In any case, I think we're going to stop the episode right there. So we did manage to accomplish a few things. We've kind of bolstered some of our cities, and we've gotten a little bit stronger in terms of our military. Thanks to kind of leveling up and grouping up our Theocrats here, we've actually really gotten quite a bit stronger. And we now have the production capability to make some decent Tier 2 units, like our Musketeers, of course, from last time. But also our Party Robot prototypes, which are going to be... they're going to come in handy, that's for sure. And then we're getting very close to having these vassals become ours. So in one turn, we can actually ask them to join our empire. And I think same goes for the Tigrans. Let's just double check. Whoops. Yeah, 3 turns for them. So they are a little bit longer. But in any case, that bodes well for us. So just to kind of zoom out and take a look. There's what we're dealing with. Not a whole lot's changed on the surface in terms of exploration or anything like that. Underground, again, not a whole lot's different. Shadow Realm, though, we do have a lot more that we've encountered. We have the Shadow Elf city of Rakalin here, and then we have Yargan, which is a Draconian city as well. So, lots of things going on. We're going to save here. And as I said, we're going to call this one Episode 5. Okay, and as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.